And here we are. You're going live with Neve.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. It is Friday, 10:02. We are here broadcasting live from Neve. We are on the east coast of North America here in beautiful Highlands, New Jersey, site of the first radio broadcast transcontinentally. So it is Friday. We've got our usual crew here. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to take it away. I'm going to bring Sam on, and we have Sam and Irish and myself. And today we're going to be talking about music, and so we'll ask you guys in the audience, what kind of music do you like? Why do you like it? Come up with like your favorite songs and stuff, and tell us why you like those songs. And we'll have a little discussion here. I'll start it off with Sam and Irish, and we'll take it from there. So without further ado, let's bring this down so I can see a little bit better. And there we go. Get this big head going on. Anyway, here we are. I hope you're having a great morning. And here's the lovely and talented Sam Roark. She is happening. She's my girl. She's the lady from Nashville, and I just love her to death. I know you will too. Good morning, Sammy.
Morning.
Man,
hey,
they put some Coke in my coffee this morning. I'm all rallied up.
I'm still trying to get my first cup down.
My sympathies, man. I'm a coffee achiever or tea achiever. Right now, my hair is tingling like I'd done some Inca marching powder while, at some point in the 80s. Got all tingly. I'm like,
did you just call it Inca marching powder?
Inca marching powder.
I finally heard a new nickname. I've never heard anyone use that. I'm going to steal that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I've got all kinds of fun stuff going on. We have we've got Clemens' son coming on this afternoon. Which I just learned backstage that you're a saxophone player and that you really like it. That's cool. And
I come from several generations, actually, of saxophone players. My Nana was one of the best alto saxophone players, probably out of the entire state of Kentucky.
So that's how you learned then, from family.
Yeah. I was one of those kids that when I got to the age where you're allowed to join school band, I didn't get to pick my instrument. I was told, you're going to play sax, we're going to do this, but I wanted to, and I fell in love with it. So
you could have turned into one of us evil drummers. You never know what'll happen then.
Oh God, I know that my family was praying I wouldn't become a drummer. You guys are animals.
Yeah, we're barbarians. Speaking of barbarian animals, we're going to see what our friend Irish is doing up in Detroit today.
Irish?
There he is, lurking in the dressing room. All right. What's happening there,
I've
buddy?
got like 3 feelings left. I happen to be a wild person. I happen to be a drummer, and my feelings have just been trampled, and it's not even 10:05 yet. Jeez.
That's too much.
Rough crowd, man. Rough crowd. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning?
I am extraordinary. I mean, I got to tell you, it's just been a great week. I've got so many great bookings coming up. I've got a guitar player from Bon Jovi coming on next month who lives here in the area, the great Pat Guadagno.
He's a beast, man.
Hell yeah,
God, he's a beast.
He is so fucking good, that guy.
I remember having him on the one time, and he just, number one, his guitar was cool. Remember that acrylic guitar he was playing?
Right.
And you're just watching him like, dude, and just what a good talent, man. Beast.
I'm waiting on a video. Doug DeJong, him and I, we've been friends. The guy in Australia, the guitar player. He was due to appear last week and couldn't. And then this week he got the date wrong because that time change.
And that's is it Doug DeJong? Is his name?
Yes, and he's the shredder. Well,
Yeah,
he's down at a gig. He was in the men's room. I called him and I go, "Hey, where you at?" He goes, "I'm taking a leak." And I went, "Okay." So we got. He goes, "Oh, what's going on? Am I supposed to be on now?" I was like, "Yeah, 10 minutes from now." And I could see his face. He's got one more set to play. So the poor.
Wait a minute, you had a video chat going while he's taking a piss?
Yeah, he just popped it up there. I could hear the piss in the water.
Right.
It's classic,
Okay.
man. I mean,
That's
deal,
multitasking at a whole new level.
I love guitar players, and I've had some of my best conversations in the bathroom after I chased all the guys out of there and told the girl to come in. That's when you're really classy. So classy, you wouldn't even buy a hotel room. Hey, come on in the men's room. There's nothing grosser than toilet sex, man. I mean, seriously. It's like,
man.
But sometimes, person's got the need to breed, and what can I tell you, man? It happens.
Absolutely.
So we've got some people talking about music. We got Deborah Norman here. We've got she likes Queen. Let's see what else we've got. And then Sam, you're getting you're like multi-talented Sam. Susan Fine sends her regards. She loves you.
I as well love Queen. Thank you, Susan.
Absolutely.
And Queen is one of those bands that you just wonder. It's like how did you even what kind of magical accident even created you all?
Yeah,
absolutely.
and they're all monstrous. They're
monsters,
their talent. Every
MVPs,
single one of them.
Like all of them.
Right. There's no loose ends in that band for sure when they were coming up. I mean, if as soon as Freddie opened his mouth, man, everybody just went, "Wow, this guy's like more than equal. He's fucking just ridiculous." And the other thing about him, Queen, their guitar player, developed his own guitar. He built it with his dad back in the 60s. That unusual guitar that you see him play, he built that fucker with his dad. And I think that's just great. I
didn't know that one.
Yeah, he hand wound his pickups and did all this stuff. And if you listen to Queen's guitar player, he sounds, as soon as you hear him, you can tell it's him.
Yep.
He has a very distinct style. I can hear him pull a lead, and I can hear the tone of that guitar instantly. Guild made a copy of it a few years ago, maybe actually longer than a few years ago, about 10 years ago before I moved back to New York. And it was sweet, but it didn't have the sound.
Controversial statement. I'm going to insert it here. You know who has a very similar guitar, but is also under, I think, a major lawsuit right now? The Dimebag Daryl signature guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing sound. Man, amazing and beautiful.
That guy
just
gorgeous.
He was unbelievable. That prick who fucking killed him, that was just absurd,
He was one of those guys, you don't even understand how difficult it is to have the things that he does, like the pinch harmonics with the bends sound so clean and sweet. And it's just, and then you hear him playing, everything's clean. And you go look at Eric Johnson and people like that, and you just go, man, these guys are amazing. But then you insert somebody of that caliber into a metal band. What? He's fucking was ridiculous.
Can we talk about the fact that two of the most ridiculous and iconic guitar players that may have ever lived were best friends? So Zach Wild's relationship with him.
Yeah, and Zach's a beast, man.
Dude, I play In This River on piano, and I can play the song, I can cover the song, sometimes I can listen to it, but if I watch the music video that Zach made for his friend, dude, it brings me to my knees, watching the two little boys play in the water together and lose each other. What a beautiful video.
That's a rough one there.
What a fucking beautiful video.
Oh, Irish, you're getting some compliments here.
Uh-oh. I try to be. My secrets are being revealed.
Irish is getting all the groupies, man. I'm telling you.
I got my Goonies shirt on this morning. That's why.
That's what.
Irish is only getting all the groupies because I have hat hair. I didn't fix my hair. I've been at school all week, guys.
Yeah, but you got the hat off now, so I'm chopped liver sandwich.
Yeah, it's there. You got it going on. More than Stacy's mom by far.
I slept in this.
So I have to make. I just realized I read something in the comments here. Toby, good morning, baby. I'm putting your thing up here. Listen,
Hi, Toby.
I have to tell the story of getting a call this morning, or making a call to Doug DeJong. He had a little bit of a problem with the date and the time thing again. He's going to be sending a video shortly to my phone, which I'm waiting for because he's going to give us a shout out from stage where they're playing in Brisbane, I guess. Any rate, the long and short, Toby, we have to reschedule him. When I called him, he was taking a leak, as we discussed earlier for this. He's coming in. He answers the phone. He's like, am I supposed to be on now? I'm like, in 10 minutes. And he goes, what fucking time is it? I'm like, I don't know what time it is in fucking Australia. So he's going to be sending that, and we'll be sharing it with you shortly once it comes in. And we're rescheduling him. I don't know what to tell you all. This doesn't usually happen, but we've had a string of it lately. It's just phases of the moon.
It happens.
Flare activity. Shit happens, you know?
You know, us artist types, man, we're a different breed anyway. We struggle with scheduling as it is.
Yeah.
But I want to point out the fact, any man that is so diligent that they answer their phone whilst taking a pee means they're dependable.
Absolutely.
Just straight up dependable. I'm impressed. I've never answered the phone whilst peeing.
It happens.
I don't think I have
responsible.
I've probably had it happen in the gig days. Somebody would call me, and I'd be standing there and be like, I'd be so drunk, I'd just be like, it's happening. Come on down, we're going to rock and roll tonight. You know?
I'm the worst with my phone. I don't even answer it when it's in my pocket. So
I definitely screen my calls. So, Deborah, have you seen Doug DeJong play in the flesh since you're down there? Toby's got my back, man. I have to tell you, she's great. Toby, you want to come on the show this morning? Tell us what you got coming up next week.
Toby's always got something going on. Toby is just she's like the map. You just see little dots, and that's where Toby's showing up.
She is the entertainment hostess with the mostest.
Absolutely. The girl from Wilshire Boulevard, live with Neve. That's my best sleazy radio broadcaster.
Live from the Angel City.
I don't answer my phone at the store. Oh, well.
I'm the worst at the store.
Good,
I get in the store. Like, I took a selfie the other day. I was in the spice section. I took a selfie. I said, look, it's a ginger in the spice section.
That's fucking funny,
it's a spicy redhead.
Oh, my God.
I'm not.
So, Deborah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live in Australia? Are you also in Brisbane?
Yeah, she's from Brisbane.
Okay.
Hi, Pamela.
Hey, babe. Pam, how's it going down there in where are you at? South Carolina, I believe. Pop it up. We miss you too, Pam. In fact, I'm getting ready to take over delivery this week for Project Pets. For anybody watching the show from my neck of the woods here in Highlands, Monmouth County, New Jersey area. Oh, she's in Georgia. Okay. That's great. I have a couple of girls that I treat like a sister from Georgia.
We're neighbors then. I'm just a little above you in Tennessee.
Yeah, there you go. She's in Georgia.
Georgia.
On my mind.
Oh, before I forget, I heard his song title. It's a guy up here, local guy, good talent, man, a guy named Cash O'Reilly. He has an original song called Tennessee Naughty Water.
Oh, I like that. That's like Mexican mouthwash.
That's a good one. Tennessee Naughty Water.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think I've had it before. That stuff comes in a clear glass.
I'm positive I've had it before.
Listen, you get to a gig and some good old boy shows up and they get out in their trunk and they got a thing of mason jars. And then they come up, they go, y'all want to get crazy tonight? And I'm like, I'm already fucking crazy and have the papers to prove it. But give me some of that whiskey and I'll be the master of ceremony.
White light.
Man, my kinfolks back home in Kentucky have been making that several generations back. But my dad's best friend is probably one of the most famous moonshiners in southeastern Kentucky. And there's a particular shine that he makes called Birdie's Best.
Huh.
I've sincerely blacked out, I snuck it as a teenager, but I have sincerely blacked out and woken up in literal ditches as a high school student from that stuff. Stay away from the firewater, people, okay? Listen.
Yeah, be careful.
And that is a public service announcement right there. A public service announcement.
PSA.
Well, hey, man, I'll tell you what, it'll hit you. It's sort of like when you go to the hospital to have an operation. I always am joking with him. Like I told the guy last year when he did my shoulder, I got the whole team. I'm like, they gave me some Valium before I went, which is just like, hey, I'm just ready to do my stand-up act while laying on a gurney, man. You know, I'm fucking off to the races. And so right before they put me out, I said to the anesthesiologist, and I looked at the surgeon, and I said, I want you to do one thing. I said, you see this arm? Think about it like Tom Brady. If you were doing surgery on Tom Brady's arm, that's what I want you to do to my arm. Make it so it's indestructible and ready to fucking work soon. And I am happy because now, you know what? It's been a year in March, and you can see it. Look at my arm moving. I mean, shit. I wasn't doing nothing a year ago.
I remember that. That was all bad there.
That was a grim fucking couple of months. It was
a rough story on top of it. It's not like you fell off a building hammering on nails or something like that. It was a cat incident. And
it was a cat incident. For those who don't recall that, haven't watched, I was going into my kitchen to grab a glass of water, just getting ready to be in bed. And we'd gotten some Amazon stuff that had cat goodies in it. And the boxes were still laying on the floor when I went to bed. Well, the cats were out there fucking around with the boxes and moved them into my trail and path. And I sent Sam a shred of dud.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah, so I'm putting it in a stream right now so that possibly maybe we can load the YouTube video in.
Pam
thank you, Toby.
Pam, I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Prayers for sure.
We'll send you a prayer. I mean, gosh, that sucks. Well, we wish you a speedy recovery for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, we just plowed through the breaks, so I'm going to bring us back to Earth here and run a couple of quick commercial breaks, and we'll move on. We'll be right back with you on Live with Neve. It's quarter-past, excuse me. And here's a song I did and used it for this ad. About to finish the video. All right.
Song.
That is a fun song. I'm working on a video for it, and it's going to be, I can't say for sure. Hold on. I'm trying to get rid of the crawl here. Get back out of brand and comments. Turn that off for a minute so we can see everybody. Yeah, here we are. So where were we, guys? What were we yapping about? We're talking about.
Well, we were kind of going. So we were talking about music and songs, and for me, obviously, music was my saving grace in life. And there's always there's songs that you have that bring you up. Everyone's like, "What's your favorite song?" I don't really have one because it depends on the mood I'm in. So we should do what's your favorite song, Neil, for when you're trying to get back up? What's your favorite song when you're trying to just pump yourself up?
Oh, I love that.
I like to put on Big Time by Peter Gabriel when I'm working out, amongst others.
Oh,
I like to listen to a lot of metal. We're talking about Zakk Wylde. When I'm working out, I like to listen to some really heavy shit, like rage
some
music.
Black Label, Five Finger Death
Black
Punch
Label
type stuff.
Exactly. Okay. That stuff does it for me. Led Zeppelin always gets my nervous system a nice tweak.
Yeah, there's a new one out by Tool called
Engage
The Pot.
that symphomatic system and get that blood flowing.
It does. It gets. I get all jerky and it's just it's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They say that I'm a monster.
Yeah, there's. Have you had? Oh, go ahead.
It's so great. My neighbors aren't home, so you can tell I'm a little riled up. I'm like, fuck! It's great. I can scream all day. Man, I love the echo in here. That was great. Wow.
What's it like when a Wild Child drummer has a penthouse atop a building and has one neighbor to deal with? He feels
all to
caged.
himself.
In their favor, I have to say we've got a working relationship figured out. They told me they're gone from Tuesday until Wednesday. Now, I've already missed a couple days because I thought it was next week. But the weekend, it's party time at Neil's. I hooked up my subwoofer this morning. When we get off, I'm going to listen to some real loud music, do my workout, have my breakfast first. And life is good, man. Sometimes music to me is the best thing for every fucking bad mood, every problem. Yeah. In my band, I would tell people, look, you come on stage. I know your old lady's pissed off at you. She should be. You're an asshole. Number 2, get on stage and quit fucking thinking about that twat you married and you regret it now. You know, you knew you didn't like her before you married her. I was a witness. So they call in, and we get every once in a while we get a little trash talk from someone. We had that imbecile a few weeks ago was sending us things. I don't know, that moron from Florida, whatever his name was. I can't even remember it now, but it's fucking Frank Rizzo my ass. It's probably the dumbest human being I've ever heard on the radio.
Whatever.
My cat's trying to bite through the headphone wire. Look, you broke my leg last year. Fucking A.
Dude, my cat won't stop eating my cords.
Yeah, that's hard, man. You got to.
He just ate. Like, I had to take him to the freaking hospital, the vet, and they were like, "Well, it's going to cost $4,000 for the surgery." I'm like, I just looked at him like, "Dude, really?" And so luckily the vet gave him a shot that worked, and I only came out of $500-600 instead of $4,000. Little jerk.
That brings to mind somebody today I saw on one of the network. It was actually in a group here in the Monmouth County area. I won't use the name because I don't want to offend somebody. What were they complaining about? I'm sorry. I'm having a brain fart. It just flew out the window. I was looking to see. I'm going to see. We're going to try. We got Doug DeJong just came in. I don't know how we're going to get this into the. Let me see if I can do something. Copy. Link address. I know what to do. We're going to have some Doug DeJong in just a minute. So, Sam, tell me some of the music that gets you out of bed every morning while I'm horsing around with this.
I've had one song ever since I was a little kid that has been my wake-up song or my pump-up song, and it's I Feel Good by James Brown.
Oh, hell yeah.
I used to hate it because when I was little, my mom, you remember the old Pioneer speakers, the real tall wood speakers everybody had?
Right.
Well, my mom had those in our dining room, which butted up next to mine and my brother's bedroom. So when she wanted to get us out of bed in the morning, she'd crank those fuckers, like all the way up. So every morning you'd hear, da-na-na-na-na-na, I feel nice.
Oh, right.
Spice. And then I hated it for years. And then as I got older, I found myself going to that anytime that I wanted to wake up or I wanted to feel good. And it's my go-to song. So,
it brings nostalgia with it.
Yes, and if I want to get in my feels or I want to allow myself to throw a good pity party, I listen to Beth by Kiss.
All right.
Oh, all right.
That works.
Man, those are pretty hard to see. Mine's changed all over the place. Like if I'm in a good mood, I want to hear Blues Traveler Hook.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Dave Matthews. Those are all good ones to bring you up. But I tell you what, recently I've been listening to the new Tool album, and they have a song on there called "The Pot."
Man. Killer song.
You want a workout song? Ooh-wee.
I was listening to that the other day on my way to class. Tool's new album is completely fire.
Yeah, those guys are all amazing artists. So we got the pity party one. I tell you what, there's a band called Hurt, and they have they're a really good band, but their vocals and their lyrics can punch you in the face. They're one of those ones you're like, oh man.
I don't think I've heard of them. I'm gonna look them up. Have you heard of Nightwish?
I haven't.
Okay, guys, so everyone watching, this is not just targeted to Irish. So if any of you all are into any form of rock, whether it be alternative rock, heavy rock, or metal, just trust me on this. Look up Nightwish, Phantom of the Opera. They do a heavy metal cover of Phantom of the Opera. They are a Swedish rock band, and they might be one of the best things I've ever put my ears on. It's amazing. So just do me a favor, look up Phantom of the Opera by Nightwish. It will blow your freaking mind. It's amazing.
I've got it.
It honestly sounds like Phantom should have been done in metal. Like when you hear Phantom of the Opera turned into metal, you're like, what the
I love when
hell?
people do that stuff, when they take stuff, the old classical or something like that, and the next thing you know, you hear a metal guitar singing there, and then you hear like some deep double bass drums going boom, boom. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
and
goody.
it's super wicked the way that they stack it because their male vocalist, who would be Phantom, is singing in a heavy metal voice. But the chick that's supposed to be like Christine in the song from the musical Phantom, she's still singing in an opera tone. So you've got this fucking sick-ass opera tone going on from this gorgeous lady singing, and then you've got this thick, saturated, edgy metal vocal going at the same time. It is wild. It's so good.
Neil, you got something from Doug?
I do. I have a clip from Doug. Let's while we're
see it.
sitting here, let's see what we can do. Okay. All right, people. This is for those of you who haven't been watching. Doug DeJong is supposed to be on this morning, and thanks, Toby. We are still having him. He will be back on for the live interview still, but I'm just going to set up my iPad and take off to the races.
All right, let's hear what we got, man.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Sam.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Ah! This is like special class.
He's just a monster, man.
He's fucking unbelievable.
He is truly a monster. The use of tone just changes a guitar, man. A guitar sounds like a hot turd without good tone.
Absolutely. When you hear this guy, he plays great on anything. I mean, he's just exceptional.
This is why
What the hell, man?
Oh no, we suck again.
You suck.
No, hey, that guy, I mean, like I said, people that don't play guitar don't really understand how hard it is to fill with a pinch harmonic and actually make it sing like that. It's a technique that's used with the pick between the thumb. It is really, really tricky to it. You can do it easy with just like one note, but when you're shredding or you're doing sweeps and then you pull a pinch harmonic in there, Zakk Wylde is the master of it. But you know, to be able to do that is just
Zack's the man. I love watching him when he worked with Ozzy, man. He just added so much. I mean, that fucking tone he gets out of his guitar.
Yeah, he's something else. And that guy's hands are like, I mean, I've got some pretty big meat hooks, man, but his hands are like freaking just baseball mitts.
What blows my mind is to hear Zakk sit down and play acoustically, and with the softness that his voice can diminish to is amazing, because you know, you hear him just going so hard in the paint all the time, and then you see his big burly ass just sit down with a guitar and do something tender like Spoke in the Wheel, and it's like, wow. Wow.
Well, I think all of us have that to some extent degree. I mean, I get up there with my tattoos and me, you know, you get up there with your, you know, you got that punk rock thing going. Neil gets up there and does a thing, but at the end of the day, we all have those different sides of ourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's sort of like you're never alone with a schizophrenic.
Yeah, I got like seven of me that have regular conversations. The one's out in the doghouse now. I think they'll forgive him at some point. I'm not sure.
I talk to the other me's inside of me all the time. We don't get along, but we're civil.
That's the worst.
I just tell mine you got to back down there, buddy. Kind of tone it down a little bit.
It's like that movie Split. You know, there's like 70 you running around in there. He's going, oh God, what do I do next?
My biggest fear taking this psychology class right now is the fact that because I'm a musician, I'm afraid I'm going to be self-diagnosing the entire class. Because you know how messed up all of us artist types are. Yeah. So, like, dude, I'm just waiting because we're about to start on all of the different disorders related to, like, emotional and mental trauma. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm so damaged. I'm too damaged for this class.
Yeah, I actually did that when I started studying psychology. I was just, you know, it was actually a good thing for me personally because it was, okay, they understand this. I'm not sitting here alone with this. And, you know, it was, psychology was a, whew.
Isn't it interesting, though, how even people with doctorates will tell you that music is a very good therapeutic tool? It is openly admitted that it is therapeutic, and I think that the reason that we are so drawn to playing music is because it speaks to that broken part of us, and it allows us to almost confront and deal with the stuff that we can't even think or talk about. Like
absolutely.
I've noticed a lot of the times I find myself, depending on what my mood is, I find myself like sitting down and grabbing my guitar, and I will play something or cover something that reflects exactly what's going on in my life, and I'm subconsciously doing that, not even realizing that that song is coming out of me right now because I'm working on something. So it's pretty powerful. Music's pretty amazing, man.
It's the one universal language for sure, which is a cliche, but it's true. I've never met a group of musicians that I didn't get along with. There might be one or two guys in the band or something that I might be very much alike, and we can't stand each other for a while. But once you've had your first knockdown brawl with them, you usually get to be brothers after that, and things get better. But we musicians are strange, All I can say is I know this. It kept me alive through everything that ever bad has ever happened to me. And my learning to play was a direct result. I won't go into the long psychological trauma bit. I'm not traumatized. I am the trauma. At any rate, I will inflict it on you if you turn me into an asshole today. No, I'm kidding. I will say, though, that when I was having a real difficult time growing up, a lot of shit wasn't going right. Music saved my life. And I mean that. I stayed away from home and played with every freaking gig I could ever take, any rehearsal I could go to, anything I could do to get out of the home and just go and fucking hang out and not have bullshit. Yeah. And I've been doing it now. It's 54 years. Because I started really banging on shit at about 6, but I didn't get a kit till a few years later. And I finally harassed a music store in my town, this little tiny row house that had a music store in it. And I kept going in there every day and pestering the guy. And he's like, what are you doing, kid? You're in here every day. I'm like, I want to get a drum set someday and be like Ringo. So after a while, I had a paper route, and I used to drop, paper off there. I finally went in one day and said, how much does it cost for drum lessons? I had like my little $5 I made in a month of paper shit. And I think my lessons were $250. Wow. But I just went in there and I learned to play a long time on the pad. Every drummer, if you're a parent and you got kids, let them do what they're going to do. Don't force them into it. If they're interested in music, support them. But don't ramrod an accordion up their ass, because nobody wants to hear that when they breathe. I'm sure stranger things have happened to them. But we're going to go to a break real quick.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Again. Thank you.
Good Lord.
Let's see what we've got here.
Heart.
Bless my little heart. That's a lovely Southern turn.
God love.
Here we go.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
We are the Sons of Atlantis, and you are tuned in to Live with Neve.
All right. We love it. And Leland and everybody else.
I actually watched a thing on YouTube the other day. I study music, obviously, so there was a thing to where these guys put these subwoofers down, and they would put plates of rice on the plates, and each tone would create a different perfect symmetrical symbol. And if you look at the symbols, they actually translate over to different ancient cultures and all this other. You're like, I know that one. I've seen that one. This one's Egyptian. This one's Celtic. This one's Christian. And you're just like, wow. And it's just that a sound can manifest a shape and actually kind of bridge a gap. But I mean, that goes back into when you hear songs and stuff like that. You're just like, oh, love it.
Yeah.
When I was going to Full Sail, we had a lot of investigation to sound the physics from the physics angle and how it can move things. There's a lot of things you can do with sound. I know there was some guys that I was told about in school who take an oscillator, very low frequency. They hooked it up to a bass amp and to a guitar amp, and they were cranking it high and low, and they had a beam from their speaker. They wedged it to the ceiling between the speaker and the beam, and they started going through the sweeping the frequencies like low to high, and it would rattle the ceiling and could actually vibrate the people above you's furniture and kind of get them really irritated, like really piss them off.
Oh my God.
And it's one of those funny things that only nerds in music do. They also had a thing where they took a square steel plate and applied vibration to it, and they dropped the rice and it would crystallize into this big pattern. It depends on the frequency used.
It's so cool.
It is an amazing thing. And I turned this into a trick on Bring Your Dad to School Day, where we go in and tell the kids what we do. At the time, I was working for a sound company. And let me just tell you, I was the drama director's best friend when it came time to do a production, because my little girl was in his class. And when she was 5, she sang, what is this stupid thing? It's the Annie. Yeah, Annie, Orphan Annie, is that what it was? Something like that.
Annie.
Tomorrow, I'll fucking choke on this tomorrow.
That's Annie.
That's it. Well,
Or a variation thereof.
He said, well, we're going to do the production. Can you help me with a couple of microphones? And I said, sure. What do you need? And he goes, well, I could really use 2 headset mics. And I said, well, how many singers and dancers have you got? He goes, oh, we got like 12. I said, just sit down, calm down. I'm getting 12 wireless headsets. This PA sucks. We're not doing it through that. I fucking came down there with a big truck, all the PA and lights they would ever possibly need, set it up. And the best part of the whole show was I had heard that song so many times I was ready to commit suicide in harakiri, the Japanese way, where you ritually stab yourself and make 3 cuts and then fall over dead. I mean, and so while the last night of the show, I hear some twat behind me go, that girl's not singing. They're playing a tape. Man, I'm sitting there in front of this fat bitch and I'm looking around. I'm like, that is definitely her voice. And it is not a tape, you fat cow. At any rate, it pissed me off so bad that you never know, man. Your kid gets attacked, I go into psycho mode.
What idiot also is like literally trying to bitch about a kid?
I know, a kid's
always
How
one
miserable do you have to be about yourself?
There's always one that has to say something.
She had to be sitting behind me.
What an
Of course,
ass.
my wife was mortified because I just turned around and ripped her a new ass, man. I was like, I'm going to have you thrown out of here. Oh, that's not at my gig. I can't do that. Damn it. At any rate, life is pretty fun. What are you doing, Kat? Coming in here to greet the crowds or what?
Or eat a cord or
eat a cord.
Yeah.
Come here, biggin. He wants to come over here. And now she's like, fuck you. I'm not going on camera.
Yeah, you just talk bad about me. I'm not coming over here.
She says, you don't pay me enough for this.
God.
I've heard that before. Somebody, never mind. That shit happens in life. What can I tell you? The key to living in shit-filled world is just keep swimming, man. Don't let your head go under.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
So,
Sam, you sent a link in the private chat. What's that?
Oh, that was the video of DeJong shredding.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And it was so awesome having Toby, man. She truly is the best. Getting that done is like, what a woman, man. The girl from Wilshire always has it in hand, man. She's just got it going on. So we do have Doug DeJong coming back. Haven't set the date yet. We're going to have, this afternoon, we're going to have Clemens' son, Nick, who has the Nick Clemens Band, who rumor has it I will be accompanying at a couple of gigs in New York coming up playing percussion, which I'm looking forward to.
All right.
It's actually kind of good because I get bored playing drums, kit drums. Not that I can get bored at it, but playing congas and percussion for me is kind of a new thing. And it's just a different side of the percussion thing. We give a drummer a couple of sticks, they'll beat on anything. They don't give a shit. Some of these low budget guys will be out there with a bucket tearing it up, man.
Some of those guys are actually pretty impressive with those buckets, man.
Well, they are, but you know what? If you're in a band, here's my advice to you. If you're in a band and you see a bucket guy outside in front, when you take your break, be cool. Don't go out and go, get the fuck out of here.
No.
Go up to him, hand him a 20 and say, hey, I want you to go on break for 10 minutes. Just like we're on break. When we get off, you can go back on. The guy looked at me. He was like, thanks, I think. I told him he was a great player, and he was not really a great player, or I wouldn't have paid him to go away. He's kind of lame, and I felt sorry for him. It's like the entertainment business is rough, man. Starting as a bucket boy to make your way up. I have yet to see a famous rock star who's evolved from that level of, misery.
It can happen, though. We've seen all kinds of people rise to the occasion.
Justin Bieber.
That's right. And
that's how he actually got his start, was busking on a stoop.
Yep.
He's busking on sidewalks and stoops in his hometown up in Canada.
Wow, and look where he's at now.
He was like 13 or 14 when his dad started having him go out and just kind of sit on the stoop and play, and he started getting just a hella attention from it.
Wow,
he's actually turned into a pretty good little guitar player also.
Who are we talking about?
Justin Bieber. When he was a little boy, that's how he got his start, was busking.
Yep. Yeah,
just with the guitar.
It's impressive what he did with that career, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. People can say what they want about him. I really don't give a fuck whether people personally like him or not. You cannot deny the fact that he is extremely talented.
Absolutely. The guy works hard, and any of us getting the kind of money he's got at a young age, you tend to go crazy. I mean, I never made that kind of money, and I certainly went crazy for a few years playing rock and roll. Sometimes
I've made far more bad choices in life that ended up with criminal consequences than he has, and he ended up growing up to be a decently stand-up dude. I mean, he's really grown up a lot, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. And
absolutely,
regardless if it's Justin Bieber or Ryan Upchurch or Tyler Booth, no matter who it is, if you are able to do music at that capacity, you are talented, you are successful. There's no reason to try to bitch and take that away from artists. Yes, they're famous. Yes, they may have a label behind them, but they worked to get there.
Everybody works in this biz.
No one gets it handed to them.
No,
and it takes a lot of work to get to where you can do it.
It's a meritocracy in music. There's no faking it when you get up on stage and you got an audience in front of you. And if you go up there and you're unprepared, you've got bigger balls than I do. Because when I go up, I am prepared to the T, man. I know every lick, every song, every break, how we're going to transition. There's so much to it that the civilians don't realize that goes into this.
True story.
Yeah.
But that said, I just love being involved in anything in music. I think you guys know you have to wear a lot of hats sometimes to stay in the business for your lifetime. I've done every job from installation to sales of musical instruments, kits, giving lessons, all the standard ways that we kind of rise up, as a musician. And sometimes there's no gigs. No. We're going to have, I'm sorry, I just got a note here. We're going to be having a movie coming to Highlands, and I'm going to be part of it. It's a movie called Chasing the Dead. It's an independent film, and we have our independent film festival in here twice a year. A friend of mine, Rob Neller, runs the film. He puts this whole event together, the Highlands Film Fest. We did a Halloween one, which was great. You probably remember Irish last year. We had the Halloween show.
Yep.
And this year, I'm waiting. He's sending me the trailer, and so we're going to have those guys on probably next week or something. I have to see what the date of the event is, but you'd be amazed at the quality. And independent filmmaking is like being a musician. You have to put together a band. You got to have tech directors and lighting people and a makeup artist and anything you think of recording rock and roll and just doing a recording. If you add zeros to the figure that it costs you to record it, that's probably, you can add 2 zeros to whatever you're doing audio wise to do it.
Yeah, bring on another 1,000.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it starts adding up. Every great idea you have, every kind of things, if you have to build by wire, you have to have somebody actually do that, build the fucking look of the show. So it's kind of a cool thing, and I'm excited.
And it's different budget-wise, too, because if you think about how pre-production in music works, when you go in pre-production for some tracks, you're usually, you know if you're taking the studio for a day, you need to do 2 to 3 songs to get the most bang for your buck. With film, man, you got one product that all your time's going into, all your budget's going into. I have the most respect for independent film writers, producers, and videographers. Talented humans. So talented.
Well, hey, on that, hold that thought. here we are. We're live with Neve. It is 10:45 a.m. on the East Coast, and we're going to go to break, and we will see you in a few minutes. Let's see who we've got here. Let's see what Kevin Sorbo says.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
Melting flake of snow this year. I won't be sad to see it go.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here. The people
All right. Live with Neve or Neve or whatever the hell they call
whatever the hell that guy's
We're
name
live
is.
with him.
I don't care what they call me, as long as it ain't late for the party, man. Just bring it on, and I'll be there to be your defensive driver. Anyone in the New York area, just ring me up. I'm not cheap, but I'm the best.
So I was looking at, man, I'm contemplating this, Neil, and you're a drummer, so you'll appreciate this. I'm contemplating incorporating a 3 rototom set in front of me instead of having just the bass, just the regular tom-toms. I'm looking at them like, man, you can fly on those things.
They're great. I used to have a kit next. I was doing the Bill Bruford thing. I had the Simmons SDS7 kit, electronic percussion, had octobans, rototoms. I totally ripped off Bill Bruford. It was, King Crimson was huge that year, and I bought one of the first Simmons SDS7s in the United States. I paid $4,500 in 1991, maybe 89, and I ordered a bright red fucking kit. There was only one. It was sitting in the music store, and they wouldn't sell it. The guy tells me, get on the list. Well, I used to work in that music store, so I got a little head of the fucking list. Called up this company myself and said, we need a fucking order. It's a cash order. And they said, sure. So I wait like 6 weeks. I'm getting antsy as shit. I want to take this thing to the gig. I've just peeled off a tremendous amount of money. And they're like, it finally shows up at the store. And my friend calls me up and he says, hey, I'll give you $5,000 and I'll give you $5,000 and we'll make you a new kit. And I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Okay.
But I didn't do it. I'll be honest. At the time, I had songs that needed that shit, and I'd spent so much money. I'm like, I'm not waiting. Money'd be good, but I got money. I have enough money that it's a great deal, but I won't have the fucking kit for another 2 months. So I've been telling everybody I'm going to start using this thing. My band's dying to hear it. So I got it, and it was pretty impressive, man. I love that kit. Make a lot of racket. But it was also cool because you could have all these weird percussion devices and make all kinds of, do the crazy man percussion solos,
Drummers get all the fun toys.
Yeah, we do.
It is an expensive hobby. It is an expensive hobby. Oof.
Yeah.
Get out the wallet, baby.
Yeah, bring on another 1,000. You want to be a drummer, you show up with about 10 grand and you might get where you want to be.
Yeah, nowadays. Well,
sometimes I like to unmount the tambourine and do the tambourine while singing so I can be included in the percussion too.
Absolutely.
I do have tambourines incorporated into my kit. I have blocks. I have 2 different cowbells. You never have enough cowbell. We know
absolutely.
Always
more cowbell.
And I'm working on trying to figure out how to put my synthesizer next to me so that I can hit something that just sounds gongish or ridiculous, because that's what we do, is we like to make noise.
Oh, right. I used to have a gong. I'd never carry one now. It's just too much pain in the ass. But at the end of my show, I'd light it on fire. And you ask yourself, what can possibly go wrong
with a flaming gong?
Fire and fucking an aerosol can of something that can blow shit up.
So, you mean you had like a stand-up gong on stage?
Yeah, behind my drum kit. And so I'd take it and be like this, and I'd light the flames all around the edge. Poof! Well, one time it caught the back of my hair on fire.
Where the fuck was the fire marshal?
Clearly the fire marshal
has
was
one
not there.
job, and it's to stop people like you.
Exactly. That's why we have mental health professionals.
Jeez.
Speaking about mental health, I will.
Sam, what's the wildest thing you've ever done on stage? I'm morbidly curious. Maybe that was a bad question.
I don't even know.
Okay, I have one that I can tell. The most wild thing that I'm willing to disclaim. No, I'm not willing to disclaim that one either. Actually, the most wild thing that I'm willing to disclaim is, so I'm not a whiskey drinker. I'm not a big whiskey person. And so I have a rule that always before the show, I go to the bartender. I'm like, hey, if you will, please have like a bottle to the side, fill it with Pepsi. And they usually would have like a Jack Daniels bottle. They'd put Pepsi in it. So when someone come pour me a shot, it would mainly be just Pepsi. My wife hadn't talked to the bartender at this specific gig yet, so I'd been drinking these green tea shots all night. I will drink mixed drinks. All of a sudden, I turn around. I'm like, I'm thirsty. They're like, look behind you. I see these double shots. So I grab them. I shoot 3 of them back to back. I tasted a little bit of soda, but predominantly liquor by the end of these 3 double shots. So this is 6 shots in a matter of about 30 seconds. We had just started the 3rd set. The last thing I remember is the beginning of the 3rd set. I wake up the next morning. I'm in my bed at home. I have different clothes on from the night before. I have no recollection of what's happened, and now I'm freaking out about what happened at my show. So my wife just kind of tosses the phone at me, and she's like, well, it's on YouTube if you'd like to see it. She's like, and by the way, thanks for flooding the bathtub last night. So I'm like, what? So I go, I just let the bathtub thing hang in the air for a second. So I just was like, okay, we're going to put that in a different box for now. So I turn YouTube on. There is a video of me in this club in Murfreesboro from the night before. I'm on stage playing this guitar, and I don't even really play. I'm a rhythm guitar player. I'm ripping this fucking guitar on stage and absolutely jumping into a crowd of humans with my guitar strapped to me. I didn't miss any of the lyrics.
That's wrong. It don't matter at that point. I managed
to play the entire song that I was watching, and then at the end of the song, you see me lean over my guitar case. I puked that guitar case full on stage from jumping on and off the stage. And I guess I did it suave enough that maybe everyone else around me was too drunk to notice. But after puking in the guitar case, I'm drunk, I forget that I puked in the guitar case, and I go to lay my Takamine, bro. My Takamine. Smash it down in the vomit. My wife is trying to control this chaos as they're trying to get me off stage because I still love everybody, even though I'm a pukey mess, and I'm wanting to congregate and talk with people.
Everybody with a little, don't let a little vomit interrupt our love conversation.
At some point, she manages to pack up all of the gear. A couple of the guys help. I'm no help. They load me into the car, get me home. She said that I puked the entire way home. I threw up all down the car. She's like, I kept trying to mess with music, mess with her. She said it was the worst night of her life, and that was when she decided that I wasn't allowed to drink anymore. That's why I don't drink alcohol.
Sam, you and I would have gotten in great trouble together if we'd have been at a gig drinking.
And then I went home and I proceeded to flood the bathtub. She left me alone. She put me in the bathtub to get the vomit off of me, and well, she was gone about 5 minutes too long because I flooded it, and I was just in there playing by the time she came back.
There's just I can see it all now. The water's coming over, the rubber ducky is going over the side. It's all.
It paints a beautiful image. You have a great wife if she tolerates you. My first wife, I came in once. I would tell you a funny story. It's similar to this. One time, way back in time, I played with the Shake Society, and we frequently would get double booked on the weekends, do 2 gigs. So for New Year's Eve of like 1982, 83, somewhere around there, we get booked at a gig out on the beach in Clearwater, Florida. Great gig, good money. It's probably like the Swedish bikini team finals or some shit. Then I have to drive back town to Harbor Island to play a gig that night. And it wasn't with my band. I was playing with another band. If anybody's been in Tampa downtown where the arena is and all that stuff, there's fucking no parking. It's a bitch. Yeah. Even on a good day. On New Year's Eve, we were having the, what is it called? Not the Orange Bowl, the Outback Bowl was being held in Tampa. And that night, Duke beat Clemson. Well, they had to have the festivities, celebratory gunfire and, all the things you do when you're excited about winning and running amok. And they weren't at home. They decided to run a ruckus in Tampa. So unbeknownst to me, they are running over cars. Now, between the earlier gig and the evening gig, I had partied with the band and just was running kind of amok that day. I didn't have anywhere to go. So I was chaotically, I was tired. After the gig, I went and I started drinking. Well, we did the gig, and at midnight, I'm really feeling like, feel the tremors coming. Now, I go out to my car and don't notice that the sunroof is completely cracked in. There's puke. Oh, no, I forget. The car had been run on. They were running down the line of cars, and they fucked up my hood, my sunroof. And so I go home, and on the way home, I start projectile vomiting out the car window at about 100. So it's a beautiful fucking like something that you go to the Seaside Park and they put paint and they spin the thing and get this. It looked like that. The whole side of the cars.
Yep. And you see him driving by, you're just like, zoom. Well, that was an interesting sight on a Wednesday afternoon. This story is something that should keep you from ever drinking. Okay. Period. This is really bad. I hate to say this, but I can beat it.
Let me tell you, I didn't beat it that night. I was okay. I'm laying in bed when the wife wakes up the next morning, and she tries to wake me up, and I'm like, about an hour later, the phone rings, and my wife comes in very angry, wakes me up out of bed. Same thing happens. She's giving me the after action report, Sam. It's the next day. I know something's wrong just by the tone of her voice. She goes, your friend's on the phone. He wants to know what you did to your fucking car.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck? What's wrong with my car? Right? So my neighbor who drives by in the morning, my best friend, Willie, he's driving by. He sees my car, and it's like Technicolor. It looks like I fragged an alien on the side of my car. Fucking dented in on the hood and the back. And I noticed when I go inside, my wife was handling it kind of well. Then she tells me that when I came home, I walked in, thought I was still at the club. I go into the closet thinking it's the bathroom. No. So I start taking a piss in the closet. She tells me that she jumped out of bed and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I told her, I got to play another set.
I got confused. I was in the wrong place. I didn't mean it.
Yes. So I just fell into bed. I have no knowledge of this. This is what I'm told after the fact. So she is fucking hot. It took me a while to get over that. But that's what will happen to you, this evil sin of alcohol. It'll bring you down and drag you into the gutter. And then you'll go home, you can do it again.
Yep. Yep.
And it makes so much sense to you while you're doing it, too.
Right.
It all makes sense. It makes complete sense. And so here's mine. It's a prison story, obviously. So we had a karaoke night it's called Gladiator School. It was a rough joint. Like, it was a dangerous joint to be at. So all of us roughnecks are there, and we're in here singing, Metallica, Pantera, doing all the big tough guy shit. And my buddy, we used to do dares, and he's like, hey, I dare you guys to go do YMCA. And we're like, well, we've drank about 7 batches of prune juice, or
that lovely
juice.
Hooch. Made some gel hooch.
Yes, we did. And it was very, very strong. It was my buddy. He made it, and he usually did a very good job. And so we were all quite schnookered. And I was the A. And all of these guys get up there, they're muscle bound, tattooed up guys. And here he goes, YMCA, YMCA. And everybody in there is embarrassed. They're like, oh, everybody's chest pumped up, like, I don't know about this. And then about halfway through the song, 2 giant worms of vomit come out of my nose.
Oh.
And the cop looks at me and he goes, really? And I'm like, I love you. It's fine. No. Hey, they're just like, would you get out of here? Go back to your whatever you have to do. Just get out of here. It was like the perfect nothing out the mouth, all out the nose, eyes water. And I was in the middle of my moment in the sun. And yeah, that was done in front of about 200 inmates.
Well, on
that
note,
might be one of the funniest musical stories I've ever heard, including real life music, not just in jail. Like, I'm talking about straight up performances, dude. If I saw someone trying to bust the A in YMCA, and dude, if I saw that, I would be so broke. I would be laughing.
Seeing a bunch of father rapers fucking out there singing YMCA.
Perfect worms of vomit out of my nose. And the cops, I mean, they actually came in there because we were getting too rowdy. And they actually came in there just like, you guys calm down. And then we go up there to the YMCA, and they're sitting there with their mace and their billy clubs going like,
what are we supposed
not even
to
know
do?
what to do.
Could you
right
imagine
now?
watching a bunch of burly ass men doing the YMCA in jail? Like, no, that's hilarious.
And I will take that with me forever. It is one of the best music stories I have.
All right. Well, everybody, we've covered it all today, from music to movies to vomit we've got it all covered, man. And today we have Clarence Clemens' son coming on, and we're going to be talking about his new record coming out and some upcoming gigs. I've also, on my social schedule, got an album project I'm going to be starting with some friends.
God, I can't believe I
called
just
me
told you
yesterday, and I love it. 12 songs, equals a little coin, and I like that. So have a great weekend, Sam. I hope you have a nice, calm, quiet weekend at home.
I'm going to try.
Irish, just stay out of trouble. If you can't, call me. I'll bail you out, and all will be well. Daddy,
what I do.
That's right. We'll cover everything, my friend. But hey, everybody watching, thank you. Sorry about the grody vomit stories. But okay. Hey, Deb, listen, I'm sorry. You must have missed the part of the show. I called Doug prior to the show, and unfortunately, he was at a gig.
He was indisposed at the moment.
He was in the facilities, in the men's room, we shall say, in the loo, for proper English. And he was at a gig still. They were playing another set. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to appear on the show. And Doug has always appeared on the show in a timely manner. He's a great guy, and we love him. And we've got some video, and all I have is a recording of him telling me, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I felt bad. I could tell he'd had a couple. It's like the end of the night, and he's like, "Oh fuck," and then he's got to drive home and come talk to us. So forget it. I figured that was like duty beyond the call, and so we'll have him back. And we've got a great show at 4:00, so stick around. Come back rather at 4:00. Have a great day and seize the day. Kick some ass this weekend. Be cool, kind, caring, and kick him in the nuts if you have to. Take care.
Kick him in the nuts.
And I will see you another time. And I'm trying to fumble through the brand thing. Wow, man, where's like our intro? Oh no, it's totally gone. Like a gag mate with a spoon.
How did you just turn into a Jersey girl?
A Valley girl, yeah.
Right. Hey.
5, 4.
My preferred
3,
pronoun.
2, 1. You're live with Neve.
This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and